It is a time for our monthly check-in with the Ellis County Historical Society. We're joined by, once again, Executive Director Amanda Rupp. How are you today?
I am doing good. I'm doing great.
A busy summer, as always, so we appreciate you taking the time to come and chat with us. And we were talking before about all the good things that you guys have going on at the Historical Society, so we're excited for our monthly updates, and we want to check in on a couple of things, events that you've got coming up here in the next few days or going on throughout the summer. But we wanted to go back and talk a little bit about the Walking Tour app. We had kind of previewed that in a conversation before, but it's launched. It's already ready to go, and you got a chance to show that off a little bit.
We did. We had the Chamber help us host a little launch event a couple weeks ago on a Friday, maybe, with the Chamber chat. And, the city's excited to have it. A lot of businesses downtown are excited to have it. There are brochures and posters up in downtown DHDC and in some businesses downtown. The local Welcome Center also has some brochures, and we're waiting on the big batch of printed brochures. But you can also find the link on maybe our Facebook page and our website. But it's really handy. You don't have to have it doesn't connect to an app store. Okay. So that was very important because there's a lot of I don't want to say elderly or older folks that love to do these tours, first of all, that are retired and pass through town, but they don't necessarily aren't as tech savvy as maybe the teenagers that use this all the time. And to go to an app store, you have to know your security codes to get into your Apple store or your Apple and to download those things. This takes you right to the website, and you are able to download it onto your home screen without checking through all those things, but it's still safe. So it has lots of extra information on it and cool pictures.
For somebody maybe who's not familiar with the app, or maybe just hearing about it for the first time, what are kind of some highlights and some things that people can expect from the app?
So, like many towns around the country have their historic district, and they have plaques around town denoting nice famous places or cool businesses that were around. Ours focuses on the late 1800s, and there are about 27 plaques downtown. They've all been made out of bronze. They've been up for 40 years, and we decided there's always been a small brochure with very little information on it, but the app will now allow you at each stop or to read additional information about the story of that place, or maybe the people that were there, and then also has pictures associated with it. So whether it's an item from inside the building that we have in our collection, or a picture of the person that owned it, different things like that. So a lot more visual than just looking at the plaque, and maybe the building's not even there sometimes. So
very good. Well, yeah, we encourage everybody to check that out, and of course on the summer tour when you're coming through Hayes and stopping along the routes as well. A couple of things we want to talk about and highlight coming up, because there are all sorts of events coming up, but I got one as soon as tomorrow, a presentation that sounds like a really interesting discussion, and then kind of ties in a little bit loosely to something that you guys are working on through the Kansas Humanities, but a presentation tomorrow to talk a little bit about the new generation of veterans.
Right. We have a speaker coming from Kansas State Historical Society. He's a major, and I'm going to butcher it if I try and tell you what branch he is in. But he has experience in Afghanistan and Iraq, and he's going to give a presentation on the differences between the veterans that came back after maybe World War II and now the new generation of vets, and what their experiences are and how to relate to them. And he's also going to touch a little bit on our project where we're collecting Vietnam veteran stories. We'd like to, hopefully record them before everyone is gone. The most World War II vets are now, deceased. So
Merle Riedel is the speaker tomorrow, time
7 p.m. and it's just downstairs in our basement commons room. You can get there through that north door on the east side, but it's the most north one on Main Street. It's a white door. It'll take you down 7 steps. But if you'd like to use the ramp entrance that's new and nice, it's on the south end of the building. So please join us. It's free to the public. It'll be very laid back. And I've met and listened to his presentation. It's full of lots of information, and he's very easy to talk to.
And it seems like it's geared toward maybe an opportunity of learning more, kind of more understanding because of the differences in the veterans as we talk about, especially with World War II and then the different war with Iraq and Afghanistan. So this kind of gives a little bit of a different point of view type. Right.
I mean, they're obviously younger. Their experience comes back that when, the VFW, was established, and lots of they had a camaraderie that they had a place to go. There's not a lot of larger civic organizations like that that vets these days are participating in. He also talks a little bit about the different misunderstandings that we have seen in the media or different things versus the way media came to them back then. So
okay, very good. And I know we've kind of briefly hit on talking a little bit about the Kansas Humanities Project with the Vietnam veterans, and that's something that we've talked about, and we want to talk about more. That's an ongoing project,
right? It's a year-long project, and we are just right now kind of collecting names, collecting leads of anybody that's interested. They don't have to have active duty or seen action. Every story is important. Even if you had a family member or a brother that was over or something like that, and you were back here in the States and have a story to tell or have, experiences or letters or such things, every part of that process was important. So maybe you were stationed in the States and, did other kind of supply jobs. We would love to hear that as well. So we might be doing a lot of cold calls. So to follow up some leads of people that were enlisted.
Okay, very good. Yeah, talking about telling the story and hearing it from the voices who are there and who are affected by it makes it so much more impactful.
Right. And so part of that project is once we record the interviews, we will then transcribe them. They will become part of our archives. A release is asked if they would like them to also be collected at the state level and put in the Kansas Historical Society. There's also, if you're interested, I don't know that we're participating in this part, but you can put it with the National Archives as well.
Okay, very good. One of the things we also wanted to hit on real quickly, a current exhibit at the Historical Society for the Orphan Train exhibit. You might tell us a little bit about that.
Right. And, it's a relatively small exhibit compared to the one that we had traveling last summer, but the Orphan Train complex out of Concordia sent us this exhibit, and before, thanks to the radio and our announcements on Facebook, before we even have it up, the first few days, people came in and have stories to tell us of their grandparents, their great aunt, their uncle that was part of this movement. And so we have a little bit of information on that, and we will also have a speaker on July 11th that has done her thesis this past year and will share information she knows about the Orphan Train. If you don't know about the Orphan Train, it ran for about 70 years, and they shipped children out of New York primarily across the West and dropped them off with families. They had a lot of people go through that system. So
very interesting stories to tell and hear about, I'm sure. You mentioned the exhibit, this one from Concordia. That's what I thought you said. And just like last year, there was the exhibit on the infamous, I think was the
Notorious.
Notorious. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Talk about how those exhibits work and how the opportunity for the Historical Society to get to have those.
So those are provided by other museums, usually at a fee. And we, either pay it directly or apply for a grant to host those. And they've helped us a lot because right now, as we're still going through an organization, we don't necessarily have the full-time staff to put up our own exhibits, but we still want people to come in our doors and learn and broaden our horizon on what we can show. So we'll continue to do those even if after we open, we'll just host them in a smaller rotating gallery. I've already got a couple on for next year. So
very good. Well, we look forward to it. Last year's was really neat. It was something that I enjoyed checking out and seeing the photos and stuff. So I'll look forward to more of that. And then real quickly, we wanted to hit on something that's coming up next month because obviously this is the last time we're going to chat with you before a showing of Trail to Nicodemus. You might give us a little background on that.
Yeah. So if you've ever been to Nicodemus, they are part of the National Park System and a National Historic Site. And it was the first, now I'm going to butcher it again, the first all black community, maybe west of Mississippi, or the longest lasting. And Angela, if she's listening, I apologize. But no, they have produced a movie in the past year about a reenactment of that trip where they travel out west, get off at Ellis, off the train, and make their way to find their established Nicodemus. So we're going to be doing 2 showings of that on July 6th. It's going to be hot weather in the next couple of weeks, and you got family in town and lots of activities for the 4th. Join us. We'll be doing it right after the parade at 11:30, and then we'll also do it at 2 in the afternoon. And some people that participated in the filming will be there to talk about it, discuss with you. Just come on down, get out of the heat. I think it's about maybe 50 to an hour long, maybe. So.
Okay. Very good. Well, lots of exciting things going on. If people are interested in maybe something we talked about, or like lending their voice to the project, what's the best way to go about that?
Honestly, I get a lot of messages from Facebook. It seems to be the easiest. So you can reach out to me there. You can also go on our website, and it'll dump you into a form to email us. But any of those dates are also on the CVB website, and I think you guys do a good job of reading that off every day too. So come down and see us. We're open 7 days a week, so I'll answer any questions.
Yeah, and that was the next thing that we had talked about, summer hours. I know
Yes.
we wanted to highlight that every time.
Absolutely. We are open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4, and on Sunday, 1 to 5. And that is thanks to wonderful participation through 2 different internship programs that I'd love to shout out to, because we're getting so much done. We have 3 interns this summer.